Happy evening, my friend. Let's go, my friend. You ready? We're going to get into the deepest place of delicious flow and delicious light. So I want you to breathe in with me and breathe out all the way down to the soles of your feet. We're going to clear off any energy that's not yours. I want you to imagine this really deep magnet in the center of the earth pulling off anything that's not serving you. Ready? So breathing in and breathing out and letting everything move out through the bottom of your feet, through your sit bones, down into the earth, clearing your whole entire being so that you are only you. You are only your energy. Deep breaths all the way to that lower belly. Let's go. And out. One more in. And out. We're going to call in our angels, our guides. We're going to invite them to come and hold this space with us in and through the divine light. We're going to ask them to show us visions. We're going to ask that we will see clearly what is needed to be seen tonight. We're going to ask for their guidance, their support, and there's something coming in. What are we going to ask them for? Clarity. That this practice will be exactly what you need tonight. All right, you ready? We're going to do a quick blessing on your body. We're going to ask that light will touch our ears, our third eye, and our lips so we may hear our angels, hear God, hear what needs to be heard, that we can have access to all of our spiritual gifts. So yes, you can see visions. Yes, you can hear exactly what needs to be heard. Yes, you can receive a knowingness in your body. Ask that light will cleanse our lips, that we speak only what needs to be spoken. All right, we're going to feel into what this practice is tonight. Okay. All right, you ready? Let's go. We're going to wake up your gifts. So maybe you know what your gifts are and you're playing at 50%. Tonight, let's move it to at least 70. If you're feeling wild, let's go to 90, okay? So one thing about having spiritual gifts is that we have something inside of us that tells us that we should hide them, that we should keep them small, that it's not safe for others to know about our gifts. But imagine if Michael Jordan had decided, even though he knew he was so gifted at basketball, that he should play small, that he shouldn't play full out. What a tragedy that would have been if he had taken his God-given gifts and decided that he would just play in the neighborhood at the basketball hoop. It's a tragedy. Don't let your gifts be hidden. Don't let your gifts be squashed into a tiny little box. They were meant to breathe. They were meant to be beyond borders of shapes. All right? So we're going to actually do a practice tonight that is going to create a shapeless border for your gifts to expand. Now, if there is no border to expand into, well then, they can be as big and beautiful as they were meant to be. Imagine if you had Jell-O, if you've ever made Jell-O before, yes, and you're pouring that liquid into a container. It fits the container in which you pour it. If you pour that Jell-O, the liquid Jell-O, out on a countertop with no borders to catch it, it goes and goes and goes and goes until it stops. I want this to be the image of what we're doing with your gifts tonight. We are creating a borderless boundary for them to expand beyond space and time so that they can breathe the way they were meant to breathe. They were given to you to use. They were not given to you to hide. Okay? So, how do we do this practice? So I'm going to invite my guides who I work with, specifically Joan of Arc, to come and sit with us right here, right now, to show us exactly how to be bold and strong. So if you imagine Joan of Arc at 14 went to the king and told him that she had seen angels and that she knew exactly how to save France. Joan had no hiding of her gifts. She was so fearless and so bold. And so we're going to invite her to come and sit with us, to guide us on how you can do the same. Okay. So right here, right now, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to go into your heart. Take some deep breaths in, quieting the mind, asking your divine self to show you what your gifts are. If your mind is loud, place your hand over your forehead to quiet the mind. Get into the heart and ask. You can ask your guides, even though maybe you've never heard them before, ask them. Say, angels and guides in and through the divine light, can you show me what my gifts are? Can you show me what my gifts are? What you hear, I want you to write down. So exactly what you hear, you're going to write it down. So if you need to pause this, you get a piece of paper, pause it. You're going to write down what you hear, okay? I'm going to play a little bit of sound while you listen. All right, you're going to wrap these gifts in so much light, and we're just going to place them on the altar, and we're going to ask the divine to bless them, to clean off the fear, that has been hidden around them. So for so long, for generations and generations, many of us in our ancestors' line have been told not to have these gifts. If you can hear angels, if you can see, if you can feel other people's feelings, like all these spiritual gifts. And maybe you don't have any of those gifts and your gifts are totally yours and different. And that is exactly what you need to have. Your gifts are built for you. They were built upon the talents and the capabilities as well as your life. So your life experiences have strengthened the muscles of your gifts. They're like a thumbprint. No one's gifts are the same. Your gifts are unique to you. And they are unique to you because of what you have experienced, because of who you are, because of the generations that came before you, because of your soul contract, because of your divine essence and light. They are as unique as the thumbprints on your hand. All right? So we're going to clear off the fear that's hiding these gifts. So I want you to take a deep breath in. Imagine this beautiful waterfall of light clearing the fear off the gifts and clearing the fear off your body. The fear of what would happen if people knew you had these gifts. How would people receive you? How would life go if people knew who you really were? Right? I get it. There has been so much fear around me showing up with my gifts. And the more I step into them, the more my whole life gets better. It's like accepting all the pieces of me. When you accept all the pieces of you, life goes borderless. The boundaries that have held you back get demolished. There are no ceilings. Everything is possible. That is when you fully accept all the pieces of you. And fully accepting your gifts is a part of that, okay? So I want you to imagine that we are on the battlefield with Joan of Arc. I want you to imagine this 17-year-old young woman leading the army of men. I want you to feel what it would have been like. So there's a message that I feel her sharing, and the message is so strong. The message is this. How dare you let your fear hold back these gifts? There are people who need help. There are people who are seeking help. There is freedom to be had. and your gifts will free them. Your gifts will guide them to freedom. Your gifts are a missing piece to the puzzle that they are creating. Your gifts unlock them in a way that nothing else can or ever has. How dare you hide these? There's a world that needs divine guidance and healing. And when we all wake up our gifts, it's like putting together all the broken pieces. Each one of us hold a place in this world. As each one of us rises in our gifts, we're able to make a whole. You are so important in this world, and your gifts are ready to come through. Your gifts are here and ready for you. So I want you to take a deep breath in, palms up. I want you to place your eyes into your heart, placing one hand on the heart and one hand on the lower belly. And I want you to speak quietly in your heart or out loud. I receive my gifts under grace and in perfect ways through the divine light. I no longer will hide you. I will no longer require you to be small. I invite you to step in, to rise up, and to expand with me. I receive you in the deepest love. I receive you in the deepest love. We are partners, you and I, to create. We are here to create more light. I want you to feel this light rising from within the lower belly all the way up into the heart. And out. Grounding you in your gifts, your wisdom, and your light. My gifts honor your gifts. I see you, and I hold the space for you as you choose to create with your gifts without borders. Let them breathe. Let them be seen. You are safe. All right, my dear friend, pouring light through you from the crown of your head all the way down to the soles of your feet. May you rest well, and I will see you in the morning.